Hello, this is Budget with Minerva, and today I'm going to share some thoughts on getting ready for a trip. So this one is a little different from the first one I did, the first video I did. The first one was more of an audio or a podcast, and this one I decided I was going to make it more of a video. So I'm going to use the web and Excel or a spreadsheet to do some getting ready or some planning of a trip. I'll call it my trip. But any trip will do, even going to your mother's house, maybe in another state, I don't know. So let's look for something very interesting and beautiful to go to. So it could be a beach, I don't know, Hawaii, or maybe Denver or Los Angeles, we don't know. Maybe Los Angeles, I already said Los Angeles, maybe Seattle. So we're gonna search here. I have Edge, Microsoft Edge open. I'm gonna do search. And I'm going to put here out of Denver. I think Denver is very beautiful. So, oh yes, going to see the wildflowers in early summer or late spring is when you go to see the wildflowers. So let's open this up. And I'm going to go to images. And we're going to see that their wildflowers are showing up there. Let's see. Okay. So yes, Denver has beautiful wildflowers. So let's pick a picture. I'm actually going to copy the image of it so I can put it on the spreadsheet so I can look at it and think of how beautiful Denver is as I plan to get ready to go on my trip. So I'm going to, this is Idaho Peak. Is it in Denver? I don't know if it's in Denver. So let's look for one that is actually in Denver. In a Boulder. Oh, I really like this one. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy image. I'm going to minimize this screen. And I'm just going to paste it here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to do paste the image. And it's a very in the small image. You pasted it right in the cell. I don't want to. Control V is also paste. And there we go. I'm going to put it right here on my spreadsheet. And now there's a beautiful picture of wildflowers in Denver. So I'm going to go visit Denver. So now I can get ready to plan it out and know what I need to have for my trip. So in my trip, I think I'm going to do a road trip. So in a road trip, how do you get ready for a road trip? You get ready for a road trip in different ways, and you should probably have a list that you get done before you start your road trip. So here on the list, I'm going to put an ID or a number. You can put number here. I put ID. I'm going to have numbers here. Number one, number two, number three. I'm going to make a list. I'm just going to do the first column into a list. So I click on A right there and it highlights the whole column. And then I'm going to click on the alignment. You have to be in home and then click under alignment, the middle one. So it's all centered. And then here I'm going to open this up a little bit and put name. It's going to be the name of what I have to do to get ready for my trip to Denver. Another thing I can do over here where it says sheet one, I can double click on the bottom here and put trip to Denver. And there we go. We are going to start a trip for Denver. And the first thing I wanted to do is pick a place that I wanted to go on a trip. So if we're already doing this, we already know where we're going. So I'm going to Denver. I don't know where you're going, but you have to have that mentally very present. And what more than a picture right next to you so you can plan this out. So I'm going to put here that I want to make sure I get a car checkup. Car checkup. I want to make sure my car is completely well. My wheels are aligned. My tires are filled properly with air and that they are not flat. I also want to make sure that everything's running properly. So usually you take it to a mechanic To do that, you can also check your oil to make sure you have an oil change. Make sure it's all topped off all the fluids, all of that. That's very, very important. So you can make a list of that, all you need for a car checkup, or go take it somewhere to be diagnosed, and they'll tell you what you need for your car. So after the car checkup, you also need to see if you have the proper luggage, the suitcase that you're going to take. If you don't have suitcases, maybe you need to figure out if you want to take the things in a backpack or you want to take them in boxes you already have. Maybe you have like moving boxes and you can put your stuff in there because you're going to go in your car and maybe you have room in your car for a few boxes. Or you could get plastic bags that are for trash. You can get those big trash bags and put things in there. So I'm going to assume that we want to buy a suitcase. So I'm going to put buy suitcase. And then I'm going to assume that we have all the clothes that we need. So I already have all my clothes. I have everything to go to Denver. I've been to Denver before. I've lived in Denver. I'm not in Denver right now. So I know it's a warm time. When I'm recording this, it's the end of May. And so it is beautiful and probably warm. So in the morning I might need a little bit of warm clothes, so probably need long sleeves. And I need probably pants, maybe some leggings under the pants for mornings and evenings. I'm not sure. If you come from a very warm place, for sure you need something like that and a light jacket. It doesn't rain around this time. Snow probably just stopped at the beginning of the month, so you don't have to prepare for that unless you're going to the mountains, past Denver. Then you have to have more clothes for cold weather. So I'm gonna put here, check on clothing requirements. And you see you have them. So you don't forget to check on that and make sure you have all the clothes that you need. And shoes. If you're gonna go to Denver, you probably want to go hiking. There's so many hikes all over the place. Almost everywhere you go, there's a hike or there's a park that leads to a trail. A trail that's behind the homes, even in downtown Denver, you will find hikes everywhere. So you probably want to make sure to do research on your trip or where you want to go. So I would put research, events, and tourism. You could also put other things like instead of tourism or events, if you don't like that, outdoor events, outdoor activities. Maybe I should put events, tourism, and activities. There I have 4 things so far. So I can go on and plan it more. So I'm going to do one last thing and then I'll stop here. Because you have an idea now of what to do. And these are just thoughts of how to get ready on a trip. Any trip. It could be a trip on an airplane. You have to make sure that if you want to have a comfortable pillow or blankets on the plane, you take them. And if you forget your earbuds, just know that some airlines do sell them for about $4 or $5. It's cheaper than buying them at the gate. So that's one thing to know because you need to make sure that you plan how much money you're going to spend, and that's an unplanned expense. And they do add up pretty quickly. Let's see, the last thing, if you are going to go on a car trip to Denver, you need to know how many miles are from where you're going to Denver. So if you're going from LA, I'm not in LA right now, but I have driven from LA all the way to Denver, and I have clocked all the miles I have taken on the train. directly from downtown LA all the way to downtown Denver. And I'll say I'll do an estimate for here, and I'll say they're about 1,500 miles. So if you're planning to drive just 4 or 5 hours at 60 miles an hour, then do that calculation, and you'll know how many days you have to plan on driving. I plan on driving like many hours, so I get there in 2 days or less. So I do drive a lot, and I don't stop too much to rest. So don't do that. Make sure that you have plenty of rest, and you have plenty of time to stop at campgrounds, to stop at rest stops, and stop at everything that is in the trip. So I would put here, plan the road trip to Denver with rest stop and camping or hotels. Let's see. Instead of stop and, I'm going to put on my list if I can. I deleted it, so I'm going to undo. I do Control Z, and then I'm going to delete the end right here, the comma, enter. So those are 5 things I think are very important to plan out before you go out on a road trip, and make sure that you plan it out. You think about the cost of money and see what else you need to plan, because it does add up quickly, and maybe you have a lot of the things, and it's easier to go on a road trip in a car than to fly. Anyway, this is Budget with Minerva, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!